Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I have not made a video in a hot minute, so this is going to be interesting. So, the video of today is fictionkins, and what are they? If you're a fictionkin, what are the boundaries you should understand? Things like that. So I feel like first up, what is a fictionkin? So if you go on Google and you just look up the definition of a fictionkin, this is what pops up. A fictionkin, or fiction kind, I did not know that was a term. Look, we learned things altogether. Refers to individuals who identify as or believe they are a fictional character or species on a deep, often involuntary level. I believe that it's entirely involuntary, not something you can make a decision off of. But you know what? I could be wrong. We all learn, right? So that's what a fictionkin is. Now for the boundaries bit. What are some of the boundaries you should respect if you are a fictionkin? So this is a really big pet peeve for me because I know very, very popular fictionkin, furry, theory, and content creators out there who do not respect people's boundaries, especially other fictionkins. Here's an example. Fictionkin A has a very big following on TikTok. Just an example. Fictionkin B is friends with Fictionkin A, but they don't have as big of a following. Fictionkin A, their kin in the show or series or book or whatever is directly romantically and sexually involved with Fictionkin B. But Fictionkin B is asexual. Fictionkin A constantly makes Fictionkin B uncomfortable by saying sexual things about them and fantasies that they want to do, often including paraphilias, things like that, things that are not okay. And Fictionkin B asks Fictionkin A to stop, but Fictionkin A blames it on Fictionkin dysphoria. I think the proper term is kin dysphoria. Now, could you tell I wasn't making that up? That is an actual situation that happened to a friend of mine. And they came to me and they were like, this is weird. And I fully agree with that. That is weird. That is not something that a friend should be doing to another friend. But that person could not speak up about it because the other person, Fictionkin A, was threatening Fictionkin B by canceling them for speaking up about the uncomfortable situation. Do you understand how horrible that situation has got to be? Fortunately, I don't care. My digital footprint is already ruined, so I already made videos on this situation. I didn't have all the details back then, so I might make a new one soon and just clear any confusion up. But I feel like that is a boundary that you should definitely understand as a fiction can. Do not, unless you are in a relationship or they have stated that it is okay to make romantic, flirty, sexual comments to another fiction kin just because they are romantically, sexually, physically involved with your fiction kin. I feel like that should be pretty basic. That is something that people should understand, yet they don't because they're not educated. I know, right? Shocker. Shocker. People aren't educated. And that brings me to another topic. Doubles. That was so clean. That was definitely not just me hard cut to another topic, but no. Doubles. Is it okay to tell doubles to not interact? Of course it is. That is your boundary. If you tell me, I'm a Pinkie Pie fiction kin, and I don't want you. Oh, I should probably explain what doubles are. Doubles are another person, is a person who identifies as the same character as you, right? Okay. So, if a person came up to me and said, I'm also a Pinkie Pie fiction kin, I don't want to interact with you. I'd be like, that is perfectly okay, girl. You do you, queen. That is okay. I do not mind. But if you go so far as to be like, I'm the only real Pinkie Pie, and to try to make people feel uncomfortable and um like they're not real and they're not valid, that makes you a shitty person. It is always okay to set up a boundary and be like, you being around me makes me feel dysphoric. I would rather not interact with you, instead of being like, I'm the only real Pinkie Pie, and if you say otherwise, I hate you. Like, I don't know. I don't know what people say in this situation. I've never run into that, because who the fuck else is kidding Pinkie Pie? The fuck? Anyways. But no, people need to be far more aware of others' feelings. Like, that is like a trans man saying to another trans man, my dysphoria is more real than yours, so you're not actually trans. You would never want someone to do that to you, would you? Or, same thing goes for Therians. I identify as a Maine Coon, so you can't identify as a Maine Coon. Yes, the fuck they can. There are billions, billions of universes out there, okay? There are billions. This is just my opinion, you do not need to believe this. Billions of different realities that could exist out there, right? Why are you out here telling people that they cannot ken as the same character as you? They could have the tiniest little difference in their experience. They're not you. They're not trying to invalidate you. They might even not even identify as the same fiction kin or same kin type. Sorry, I'm getting my words all mixed up here. They might not even identify as the same kin type that you do. Like, for example, they identify as this Pinkie Pie. I identify as that Pinkie Pie. But minuscule changes, minuscule things that make us different kins, right? We are kinning different characters. It's a matter of perspective, and it's a matter of how open-minded you are and how willing you are to be a good person. I genuinely think that if you are going to go out and tell people, I'm the only real Pinkie Pie, and if anyone tells me that they aren't, or that I'm not and they are, um, I'm gonna block you and I'm gonna make like a hate page about you. Which has actually happened before with fictionkin A. The person I talked about earlier, fictionkin A. Yeah, they're a great person. They're a great person. They're such a nice person. Water break. But no, like, it is basic human decency to not invalidate others' experiences. And I get it. You're not identifying as a human in some cases, right? But what you need to remember is that, ooh, here's a good one. Here's a good one. So, I was scrolling through the old Tickety Talk the other day. Yeah, that was cringe. Can we ignore that, please? Thank you. I was scrolling through TikTok the other day, and there is this absolutely beautiful, gorgeous mask, and I am like admiring it. And the girl who's wearing it is black, and I don't even clock that. I don't even notice that because I'm not looking for fucking skin colors. Thank you very much. But I scroll through the comments, and someone calls her a fucking very many slurs, very many rude slurs, and this person was also a Therian, and people were going after them in the comments. People were like, "That's not okay." And then that Therian who was calling the black Therian, slurs was like, "Well, animals don't understand racism, so it's okay." I feel like that pretty. Oh, hello, my puppy's here. Hi, how'd you get in here? My door doesn't lock or close, so he can just. I'm gonna pick him up. He left. Never mind. But anyways, I feel like that really directly correlates. Like, making people, like, denying people basic human decency, and being just like act like being nice to people, but then using the excuse that you are identifying as an inhuman creature does not excuse it, right? Just like if I were to say, I'm autistic, right? So, like, if I were to say, well, that guy was overstimulating me, so I stabbed him. That is a very extreme example, and I get that it doesn't correlate that well, but this is something that's going to stick with you. Well, that guy was overstimulating me, and I'm autistic, so I stabbed him. That is not an excuse. Just like, well, I identify as Pinkie Pie, so that Pinkie Pie fictionkin needs to die. Or that Pinkie Pie fictionkin needs an entire hate video on them that's going to blow up, and then that person is going to quit social media because of me, because I'm an entitled little brat. I don't know if that sounds familiar, but it should. I honestly wonder sometimes how that creator is still up when they've cyberbullied literally so many people. Like, I cannot count on 2 hands and 2 feet how many people they've cyberbullied out of social media, out of being online. Um, and sometimes I just really wonder, like, what does your family think of you? Oh, wait, I know their family. I'm friends with their family. I've met their family. Their family's great, actually. Their family's amazing. I don't know how their family made that, but whatever. But yeah, that is like, I guess it's like my rant. I don't know. This isn't. Have I been? I've been talking for 11 minutes. Oh my god, that's insane. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I think that's pretty much all I've got to talk about on the topic today. Just, you are allowed to set boundaries. You are absolutely allowed to set boundaries with fictionkins, especially doubles. Um, and if you are given that boundary, please respect that. Just neither party needs to be fucking rude about it. Neither party needs to be out here being like, I think that I'm just gonna invalidate you now. Because we are not here to invalidate. We are here to validate. Aren't we supposed to be the nice community, but instead we're filled with a bunch of prissy little assholes? And I hate to be the person who wants to say that, but we are filled to the brink with a bunch of prissy little assholes. Also, no, I don't know. Who's on my shirt? I don't know. I stole this from my ex-boyfriend. He stole my $40 hoodie, though, so I get this one. I think it's like $10 off AliExpress. I don't know. It's cute, though, and it's mine now. Alright, bye!